Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Martin Odegaard shares what's happened in Arsenal training this week after Everton loss. Martin Odegaard says standards have gone up in Arsenal training since Saturday's 1-0 defeat to Everton. The Gunners suffered just their second league defeat of the season. Paul Merson said the Arsenal skipper was not his usual self in that game and they are looking to get back to winning ways against Brentford tomorrow. Odegaard told The Telegraph that the Gunners squad has responded in the best possible way on the training pitch after that setback. He said, "The way we were working in pre-season, I had the feeling that we could do something special with the signings we made, and also because of what happened last year, it gave us something, a bit more hunger, a bit more determination. We were angry, you know. For the players, it's not a shock that we are where we are. We are enjoying it, but we know we can improve. No one is satisfied, everyone just wants to get better." The last few days after defeat at Everton have been maybe the best training sessions we have had for ages. That says a lot. Arsenal got away with their defeat somewhat as Manchester City also went down by the same scoreline against Tottenham the next day. And it's the Gunners who look the more settled, happy, confident camp, with all not quite right at Pep Guardiola's reigning champions. The Spaniard is tinkering with his team, leaving key players out and letting Joao Cancelo go altogether, and the two title heavyweights meet on Wednesday in what will be a huge game in the title race. Arsenal ace Emile Smith Rowe unlikely to play against Brentford. Arsenal forward Emile Smith Rowe is unlikely to play apart for the Gunners this weekend, according to Goal.com. Mikel Arteta's charges host Brentford at the Emirates Stadium in a 3 p.m. Premier League kick-off on Saturday. Goals.com's Arsenal correspondent Charles Watts previewed the match in an article published on Thursday. He reported that Smith Rowe, who has missed the last two games with a thigh problem, is likely to miss out against the Bees. Football London also look ahead to Arsenal's weekend game and noted that Smith Rowe was nowhere to be seen in training. It's been a difficult season for the 22-year-old who has just over an hour of game time under this belt in 2023. Smith Rowe was previously plagued with a persistent groin injury for which he had surgery earlier this season. After several months recuperating, the Highland graduate was eased back into action with cameos against Oxford United and Tottenham. Sadly, Smith Rowe finds himself on the sidelines again. Hopefully, the incredible talent recovers quickly and can hit the ground running once he returns to action. Arsenal striker Gabriel Jesus has returned to the club's training ground this week. He has stepped up his recovery plan following knee surgery, but is still some way off a return to action. Meanwhile, Reiss Nelson is available and fully fit after recovering from a hamstring issue. Thomas Partey's substitution against Everton at the weekend was not thought to be injury-related. Mohamed El Nini remains a long-term absentee. He has been sidelined for the season due to a knee problem. Italian media deliver verdict on Arsenal loanee Pablo Mari. Arsenal defender Pablo Mari is currently on loan in Italy at Monza, and Calciomercato have had their say on the Spaniard's recent performances. Mari joined Arsenal from Flamengo initially on loan in January 2020. That move was made permanent in the following summer, with the Gunners paying a total fee of £12 million to sign him. The 29-year-old will initially, but following Gabriel Magalhaes' arrival, it became clear he had no place at the club. He spent the second half of last season on loan at Udinese and then joined Monza in the summer for the whole of the season. Pablo Mari has been through a lot since joining Monza at the start of the season. Back in October, the Spaniard was seriously injured following a stabbing incident at a shopping center in Milan. The Arsenal loanee was rushed to the hospital and had to undergo surgery to reduce muscle damage to the wound on his back. He returned to action in January and has played in every one of Monza's games in the Serie A since. The Biancorossi are unbeaten in those fixtures, winning 2 and drawing 4. Calciomercato heaped praise on Mari. They call him the defense commander, an exemplary professional and a great man. They further write, "Mari is someone who never backs down and isn't afraid of anything, also because life, as you already know, has put him in front of difficult moments. The last round is just one of the latest examples in terms of data of the excellent performance of Pablo Mari, who since returning to the field after the injury has given a different solidity to the Monza defense, from the match against Fiorentina to a draw against Sampdoria. The Lombard club has never lost, and Pablo has always been among the best. Mari is a very good defender, and the Serie A really does suit him. The 29-year-old's contract at Monza contains a clause that obligates the Italian side to sign him on a permanent deal from Arsenal this summer if they avoid relegation. Football is a funny game, and anything can happen in the next few months, but Monza should be able to survive quite comfortably, considering they are 11th in the table, 12 points above the relegation zone. Arsenal will pocket at the £6.2 million should that happen. Fabrizio Romano makes Ansu Fati claim amid Arsenal, Liverpool and Man United links. Fabrizio Romano claims Arsenal, Manchester United and Liverpool are all interested in signing Barcelona youngster Ansu Fati this summer. The 20-year-old Spaniard is one of the brightest talents in Europe. He became a starter when he burst onto the scene at the Camp Nou in the 1920 campaign, but things haven't been great for the youngster this season. That has given rise to rumours about a potential exit this summer, and the three biggest clubs in England, Manchester United, Liverpool and Arsenal, are all reportedly tracking him. Just this week, Cadena Cop reported that Arsenal and Manchester United had both contacted Ansu Fati's agent, Jorge Mendes, to inquire about his situation. The Spaniard has started just 9 games for Barcelona in all competitions this term. That's not bad for a 20-year-old, but Fati is a special talent and he is not happy with the situation. Romano has now shared the latest on Fati, and he has claimed that Arsenal, Manchester United and Liverpool are not just tracking him, but they are well informed about his situations as well. Bayern München, however, aren't in the race as things stand. Romano just tweeted, Premier League clubs tracking Ansu Fati's situation for next summer, Manchester United, Arsenal, Liverpool well informed, Bayern currently not working on it. Barcelona insist they want to keep Ansu. The second part of the season will be crucial. If Arsenal, Liverpool or Manchester United are presented with an opportunity to sign Ansu Fati, they shouldn't think twice. The 20-year-old Spain international is arguably the best forward of his age in La Liga. He is a spectacular talent who has the potential to become a superstar in the coming years. Mikel Arteta, Jurgen Klopp and Erik ten Hag have all proven how good they are with respect to developing talented young players. They'd all be excellent managers for young Fati to work under. However, whether Barcelona will allow him to leave easily this summer is the big question. Jacobs claims Alvarez could leave Ajax in the summer. CBS journalist Benny Jacobs has provided an update involving Arsenal and Edson Alvarez. The Gunners reportedly tried to sign the Ajax ace during the January transfer window. In the end, Alvarez stayed put in Amsterdam, with Arsenal going on to sign Jorginho from Chelsea. Jacobs, writing on Couch Offside, reiterated that the Gunners made an approach for the Mexico international. However, it became quickly clear that the club didn't want to lose Alvarez mid-season. That said, Jacobs claimed the 25-year-old could be on the move in the summer. Arsenal aren't the only club reportedly eyeing Alvarez. Liverpool and Newcastle United have also been linked. The holding midfielder was subject to a £40 million transfer bid from Chelsea last summer, which was rejected, he said. Alvarez is another name who could be on the move this summer. Chelsea came close to signing the Ajax midfielder last summer, but the club refused a move despite Alvarez pushing for it. Todd Bowley did tell Alvarez at the time he'd be back but never returned. This is understandable given a new recruitment team came in and the club became obsessed with Enzo Fernandez. Plus, Dennis Zakaria impressed before his injury and will return to full fitness soon. It will be interesting to see if Zakaria finishes the season strong, whether Chelsea try to buy him from Juventus. Arsenal considered Alvarez in January to a degree, but it became quickly clear Ajax didn't want to do mid-season business. Liverpool have looked at Alvarez before and chose not to proceed, and Newcastle are another club to have him at least loosely on their radar. Although Arsenal signed Jorginho in January, the Gunners could potentially look at more long-term options in the summer. Alvarez fits the bill. He is heading into his peak years, is incredibly talented, and has experience and trophies at the highest level. Arsenal and Newcastle could receive Musa Diaby transfer boot this summer. Arsenal and Newcastle United have both been linked with a move to sign Bayer Leverkusen speedster Moussa Diaby over the last few months. The Frenchman has been one of Leverkusen's best players in recent years. His output has been phenomenal for a wide player, and it's only a matter of time before he moves to a bigger club. German outlet Bild claims that could happen as early as this summer. Bayer Leverkusen have found themselves in a very difficult position. The German Giants, who finished third in the Bundesliga last season, are now 10th, just 8 points above the relegation play-off place. Bild claims that Leverkusen are having a crisis season, and the consequence of this will be a mega upheaval of the squad at the end of the season. That means the likes of Piero Hincapié, Jeremy Frimpong, and their star man Musa Diaby, who has been linked with both Arsenal and Newcastle, could all be sold this summer. The outlet claims Leverkusen think they can raise more than 100 million euros from the sales of those three players, and Arsenal and Newcastle have been credited with an interest in the astonishing Diaby. The 23-year-old will until the final 2 years of his contract this summer. Diaby would be a phenomenal signing for most clubs in Europe. The Frenchman is absolutely rapid, his dribbling is excellent, and his stats over the last 3 seasons, goals and assists, are simply sensational for a wide player. To add to that, Diaby is hugely versatile. He can play anywhere across the front three, and he is still only 23 as well, which means he will only get better in the coming years. It will be interesting to see what will happen with Diaby in the summer, but if Arsenal or Newcastle can get him, they should. Danny Welbeck makes claims about Arsenal target Moses Caicedo. Danny Welbeck has told My Albion TV that Moises Caicedo is the Brighton teammate you always want on your team in training, amid reports that Arsenal want to sign the midfielder. Caicedo has been a revelation in the Premier League this season. He has certainly stepped up following the summer departure of Yves Bissouma. The Seagulls had to dig their heels in to keep the 21-year-old in the January transfer window, according to The Athletic. Arsenal had 2 bids for Caicedo rejected. The latest offer was worth £70 million. Arsenal did go on to sign another midfielder before the deadline, but with Jorginho coming in, the Gunners are surely going to have their midfield options on the agenda once again in the summer. Of course, Welbeck is one player who knows what it takes to play for Arsenal, and Gunners fans will be delighted by his response when asked which Brighton teammate you always want to be on your team in training. He said, Moises Caicedo. He just breaks everything down, sets everything up, he is top. It's hardly a surprise that Welbeck picked out Caicedo. He just seems to be the kind of player you could drop into any team in the world and find that he finds a way to adapt and thrive. But it's particularly high praise this season. Brighton are flying high in the Premier League this season. Should they win both of their games in hand, they would go above Tottenham and into 5th. And Caicedo is one of several players who have really helped Roberto De Zerbi's men take that next step this year. Brighton will hope to keep him for as long as possible, as it's going to get harder and harder to keep replacing these star players. But it would be no surprise if Arsenal step up their efforts to do a deal this summer. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.